That is the genius of Melissa and Doug. Their simple puzzles and crafts and costumes help kids explore the endless possibilities of their imaginations.
We often hear about the Silicon Valley story of an inventor tinkering around in a garage and turning his experiment into Apple or Google or some other company that changed the world. Back on the East Coast, the toy business has its own version of that story.
You might not know their faces, but if you're a parent of a child of a certain age, the name Melissa and Doug probably rings a bell.
We're here in New York City for PR News' annual Most Powerful Women in PR Awards. And I'm here with Melissa of Melissa and Doug.
Things were starting to change for me personally through the act of parenting and raising our kids. And I have had the experience of having 6 children, 2 in my 20s, 2 in my 30s, and 2 in my 40s. And that has given me a very unique perspective of parenting and how dramatically different childhood and parenting were in one short generation since I had been a child. Our childhood was one of a lot of bruises and scrapes and dusting ourselves off when we got up ourselves. You know, it was about taking the blank canvas and filling it by ourselves, alone, with our imagination.
It's their own childhood experiences that led Melissa and Doug to start a movement to take back childhood, encouraging kids to unplug from their electronic devices.
We talked today about how kids don't have grit, don't have resilience, don't have problem-solving skills, can't cope, and are facing unprecedented levels of anxiety and depression as they get older. In college now, it's horrific what's going on with mental health. And we're finding it's because they don't have grit, resilience. They haven't learned how to fail.
We want to get much more involved in childhood and orchestrating our kids' lives in a way that we believe will lead them to success. But what we are very clearly seeing now is actually leading them to a whole host of mental health issues as a result of not enough self-discovery and play and ability to discover oneself in early childhood.
Actually, everything we do in childhood starts with a failure. And that is what childhood is supposed to be all about, and what we and Melissa and Doug are on a crusade to nurture, cherish, and protect. Because in childhood, it's not called failure, it's called play. That is the essence of childhood. And I mean, through imaginary play, you discover who you are. You explore, you create, you try things and fail. And it's okay, because it's just imaginary, right? So you learn to take risks and discover in that who you really are. I began to channel my inner turmoil and perfectionism into positive creation through toys, that I saw that failure was actually essential to innovation.
I fail more than I succeed. And I found that really profound. And I kind of enjoyed that because it made me realize that I actually have to fail more in order to succeed more.
I frequently say that the line between success and failure is as fine as a spider web.
That's who we are, Melissa and Doug. We are that spark. We are that, I call it the kindling that ignites and fuels a bonfire of imagination. Our toys are open-ended, and the definition of an open-ended toy is a toy that needs no instructions because there's no one way to use it.
And wonder exists all around us, especially in nature, but in the speeding up of life that's happened so much now, we forget that wonder exists all around us. Just the act of doing some of these simple things makes us all feel a little lighter and a little more connected to nature, and brings a little more fun into every day.
You're so wonderful. I can sit here and listen and learn like all day.